I just wanted the suffering to end once and for all. I was dead. I wasn't just almost dead. I was pretty much dead. For 24 minutes. When I finally leave my body, I see everything from above and I feel so good. That horrible, endless pain just vanishes. And when I see that they're trying to resuscitate me, leave me alone, let me go, don't touch me, please. So much more happened there, and I still get goosebumps. They're described as angels without wings, just to give people an idea. Some call them beings of light, others call them angels. And yes, they gave me the option to return, and like I said, am not the only one. I've felt the need to share this experience ever since I came back. Everything happens for a reason.
The A.J. Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast.
I am here with the Spanish journalist and author, Tessa Romero. She was the first near-death experiencer I personally met around 4 years ago, and her story is amazing. I helped her translate and publish her book, 24 Minutes on the Other Side. And today, she's going to share her story with us. Hello, Tessa.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be with you on your YouTube channel.
I understand that you were clinically dead for 24 minutes. How did this all begin?
I was dead. I was an unfortunate, unhappy person who wasn't herself. So I had to learn to be myself, to become who I truly am.
It had to happen to me. I mean, I had to die. I had to die in some way in order to really live. I started to feel really, 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 really bad. And that's when I had the heart attack. And right at that moment, there was a small clinic across the street, a clinic that barely had any doctors or anything, and they were the ones who took care of me.
I just wanted to die already because the pain was unbearable. I just wanted the suffering to end once and for all. And then there's a moment when I finally leave my body, I see everything from above and I feel so good. I haven't come into contact with anyone or anything yet, but I'm leaving my body and the emotional pain disappears. That horrible, endless pain just vanishes. And when I see that they're trying to resuscitate me, and I kind of know that they want me, I can't really say that you know exactly that they want to bring you back to life, because when you're out of your body, you don't think that way. You think differently, I mean. You don't think like a human being, you know? But I could see that they were there. I felt that they cared about me, because I noticed that every time they tried to resuscitate me, I would go down, like I could feel as if I was about to return. I didn't want to, so there came a moment when I started to think, hey, among them, and I told them, leave me alone, let me go, don't touch me, please, just let me be. I mean, I just wanted to go, you know, upwards, where I felt so comfortable, too. I was really angry, I felt rage, you know, that I do remember. And then, well, I described to them everything that had happened in that little room, because it was a small hospital, a very tiny clinic. Everything happened exactly as I described it. Of course, I couldn't believe it, but I described it perfectly. So, of course, they had to believe it.
And I remember seeing myself from above and seeing myself down below, but I didn't know it was me. And at that moment, I felt as if something was pulling me upward. That's when I saw those beings of light.
Can you tell us about those light beings you met?
They're described as angels without wings, just to give people an idea. Some call them beings of light, others call them angels. In fact, I want to keep researching the subject. Over these 11 years, I've talked about hundreds of cases that I know firsthand from patients and other people who have had NE, and from doctors who have told me about their patients who have encountered these same beings or entities, and the physical description is practically the same. I mean, identical. When you're with them, you're certain they're not deceased loved ones. They're not human beings. That idea fades away because I was actually greeted by someone who had died. And when you're on the other side, you can clearly sense who is a deceased person, who is a human being and who isn't, because you can sense it perfectly. You have such a heightened level of consciousness that you can't escape that awareness, the thousands of senses we have. It's just that here, on Earth, in this plane of existence, we have thousands of senses, But with so many interferences, we don't perceive things 100%. Over there, you do, because there are no cell phones, there's nothing. The first person to greet me, and I don't mind saying this, was someone I know. I'm not going to say who it is, so I don't reveal their identity. It's someone who has passed away from my circle. That's something that happens repeatedly, and I also have to say that I didn't know that. It's a subject that never interested me at all, not in the slightest. I didn't know anything about reincarnation or experiences, near death, or that when people are about to die, their deceased loved ones come and help them say goodbye, even help them pack their bags to leave. And so at that moment, I still didn't feel like I had a mission or anything to give. It was a person who was about to commit suicide, and so they took me to that person. And they told me, no, because we communicated through thoughts, of course, that I could save this person's life. Would you come back from death to give your life for someone you don't know? I simply, instinctively, when I touched that person's soul, that person who was there, I felt their pain. It was 100% tangible. I felt this enormous pain from that person. So when they told me it was possible to save them, I didn't hesitate. So I didn't even think about it for a second. I mean, I came back out of love. I came back totally out of love. And yes, they gave me the option to return. And like I said, I'm not the only one. There are many people, there are thousands of people who have been given the option to return and come back. Why? I don't know. We are truly lucky people. But well, everything has a reason, obviously. I was given the chance to come back. I was offered the opportunity to return. So much more happened there, and I can't even talk about it. They showed me. In some way, yes, they showed me the future when my mother's funeral happened and all that then, and I still get goosebumps.
And when I saw the light, I wanted to go toward it because it felt so familiar. And that's when they took me on a journey where a lot of things happened there, but it was completely clear that time had absolutely nothing to do with it. And that's when I woke up.
I had the impression that I spent years on the other side, where I had contact with other beings. I've felt the need to share this experience ever since I came back. And I felt this need to share with people who were suffering from an illness, or simply going through a breakup, or even just feeling sad and depressed without knowing why. I felt that I had to bring that message of light, of hope, that it's possible to come out of the darkness, that it's possible to be reborn, that it's possible to live again. And that even in the worst case scenario, which is death itself, I mean, when a doctor comes and tells you you're going to die, there's nothing we can do. You always have to have hope because you never know. The proof is right here. I keep going to hospitals and support groups and so on, and I see miracles, everyday people who were given no chance at all. And yet, there they are, running marathons, living their lives, so happy. So you always have to have hope, always, always. That's a very good message. I also go to support groups for transplant patients. They are very afraid, they suffer a lot. People in cancer therapy groups, drug addicts, and so on. There are so many people suffering, truly there are.
So what led you to write your book, 24 Minutes on the Other Side?
First, there's a personal reason, and then there's the desire to help others. Like life itself, after that experience I had, I realized that I had to love myself first and then love others, not the other way around. So for me, this book was a healing process. Because I wasn't just almost dead, I was pretty much dead for 24 minutes. So that experience I describe, and I don't know if any of the people watching me have read my book, they'll know and understand that. And it had already been almost 11 years. I started writing it in April, and in September it would be 11 years. And I don't know, AJ. I've mentioned more than once that ever since I was a baby, I didn't even know how to walk or talk. I would climb out of my crib and crawl to my dad's library. I'd escape and just be fascinated, completely enchanted by the books, though I didn't know why. I think that the relationship between books and people, there's always something magical about it. I've always thought that books are magical and that they come into our lives for a reason, that they choose us at the moment we need them. And I think you start feeling that calling from, like I said, before you can even walk or talk or anything. And the moment I learned to write in school and everything, it was crystal clear to me. I was writing stories by the age of 8, taking part in children's and youth literary contests. I became a journalist. Everything happens for a reason. Deep down, I think it's always been my need to communicate. That's why I started writing when I was little, became a journalist, a communicator, and now have a communications agency like I do. It's always been the desire to connect with others, to share experiences. So, just as much as I like to talk, I also enjoy listening and learning. I think that when I look back, as I mentioned in the book, you can see that everything is perfectly aligned. The sequences are just right to bring you to where you are now. Everything happens for a reason. And I wanted it to be about personal growth. I was absolutely sure about that. So I feel that I really do have to write about this, about the experience I've had, but not just about my experience, because you have to keep in mind that since it's a life manual, I want people to know that I share what my influencer was like. A lot has really been written about this. I thought so much had already been written, and there are amazing authors, so many others that I thought, well, it would be. I don't know, like I'm competing again with all these people, right? Who are all such authorities in everything you know. However, I think every book is different because it's written by a different person. Each one puts their soul, their heart into it, which is unique. Right. That fear went away and I thought, no. You have your own soul, your own experiences, and on top of that, you can share them. There are other people who haven't lived it and speak as observers of this phenomenon. But in my case, I had actually lived it, right? So I think that's why. I don't know. Everyone tells me things about the book that I never thought they'd say to me, because it's a very simple book. You read it too, very straightforward, with very simple words so that anyone can read it, no matter who they are or what kind of education or background they have. And I see it as a very simple book, but I think that's where its greatness lies. Maybe that it's simple, but above all, because I poured my soul into it. I left a part of myself there. I was able to help others with my experience. So everything I write from this moment on is connected to that life experience I've had. That is, everything related to happiness, to sadness, to how to be happy, how to suffer as little as possible, how to develop your potential, how to. In short, be a person, be the best version of yourself, right? And above all, to be happy. So anything aimed at being happy, I think I'm meant to write about that. Whatever it may be, to improve people's lives, to make the world, to make, as the Maria Jimenez song says, right? To make this world a little less strange, you know? When I made the decision to write, I was terrified. But when I wrote the epilogue at the end, I thought, oh my gosh, here we go. And when I sent it off for editing, it was like leaving your child and sending them to the incubator, you know? Something like that. And I said, it's no longer in my hands, my God. But it was a terror, stage fright. But it's worth it. And well, we're talking about after I did it. But the fear before writing is horrible. I had it, though, did I overcome it? Well, because you have to do things in spite of fear. Because I can't say, think, and do something else. So, if I say in my book, and I tell everyone I know and everyone around me, that you have to live without fear, because fear paralyzes you and holds you back. How can I understand? How am I not going to take my own advice now, not follow it myself?
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
You shouldn't be afraid of anything, because one thing is very clear to me. Anyone who has a message to share, which is about improving other people's lives, or simply writing a novel that people will read and feel good, should think for a moment that this was written in their soul even before they were born. I'm convinced of that. So since it's something that's there, that you were born with, you're destined to do it. When you do what you truly want, it's going to turn out wellies. It might take a little longer. It might take a little less. It's about everything in life. Everything we desire with all our soul, if it's good for us and for the harmony of everyone, will turn out well. So don't be afraid and trust in the enormous power we all have inside. Trust. So really, don't be afraid.
I'm Dr. Lawrence Brock, and I want to recommend AJ and his team at Grapevine Books. He helped me publish 2 books. My latest one is Autobiography, The Healer, Near-Death Experience to the Power of Love. And it's about my near-death experience. AJ was both very professional, very supportive personally, and those 2 things are really important to me. He was a great support to me as a friend and as a co-worker. If you have a book in you, let him help you get it out. That's what it did for me. I've been working on this book for quite a while, and his support really was good. I can't say enough about it. If you have a book that you want to publish, work with him, you'll get it done.
If you're interested in publishing your book in Amazon, contact me, and my publishing team and I will lend you a friendly hand. Send your email to ajparbooks@gmail.com. That's ajparbooks@gmail.com.
This has been the AJ Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe.